Hello, musicians. Welcome to Continuum. So this podcast is really all about finding and sharing tools that musicians can benefit from. So primarily, it's about assisting learners or advancing more experienced musicians. And the tools that Continuum are creating for that purpose range from a series of in-depth essays about the different things that affect playing, mental health approaches, the physicality of playing an instrument, the importance of physical wellness, of balance and structure in terms of how your body relates to your instrument, but also lots and lots of tools that I'm developing as part of the Continuum pedagogy, which will aid learners, self-motivated learners primarily, or the motivated parents of learners, especially learners with certain issues that make ordinary learning or traditional learning a little bit more tricky. So ADHD, autism, I have a family of autistics, so I know all about that. And some of these tools, I'm trying to make them very modern, very exciting, very interesting. And we're going to use all the tools that are available to us. And that includes digital media, because whilst I believe more than anything that musicianship comes from humanity and the body, I'm advanced enough in this society to appreciate that digital assistance is the way forward, because using digital assistance, including AI, is the way that you can get those messages to the greatest amount of people all around the world, as is absolutely humanly possible. We need the machines to enable us to do that, to spread the message, if you like, and to share this wonderful, wonderful journey that I'm on, having developed the Continuum method over the last 4 or 5 years. So it feels a bit like it's all happened in the last couple of weeks, but actually it really hasn't. I've been working really, really hard on this for a very long time. So later this week, I'm publishing a book of essays, and the structure of learning, I think, has really transitioned into something very different with the sort of onslaught of the reel and things like YouTube, platforms like YouTube and lots of other platforms, Tomplay, really good, useful tools that they have. But I do feel they're very, very one-dimensional in a lot of ways. And the problem with a lot of them is they forget that there's a person using the tools, a child, an adult who's never played before, a person who has never seen this instrument before. Perhaps they're from a different culture and they're thinking to themselves, oh, I really like this. I might want to give it a go. And, the examples that I gave you there of Tomplay and YouTube, they are so driven by an algorithm or algorithms that they completely and utterly over focus on sort of marketing, and the person is just lost, and the humanity is just lost. I really do think, listeners, that I can have both. I can deliver to you an essay that may be read by my AI reader, but it's totally and utterly filled with humanity and understanding, because I'm an experienced musician. I'm not going to blow my own trumpet and say I'm a fantastic musician, because I'm an all-rounder. I can play a lot of instruments. And when you play a lot of instruments and you focus more on composing, you're never going to be concert standard. And I've never pretended to be that person. But I make music for myself, my own compositions. And now I make music to help other people to make music. And that's my sort of ethos, if you like. So Continuum is now available on Patreon. So you can, if you just go to Patreon, if you've downloaded the app, it is on an app, or you can go to the website if you're on a desktop and just, put in patreon.com/Continuum music, and you will find my music studio on Patreon. You can also go to Lounges TV. Same sort of thing. They've got an app. And what I really like about these apps, okay, I mean, I don't know about you, but I've got absolutely far too many on my phone, and I'm forever deleting the ones that I don't use at that particular moment in time. I can fall in love and fall out of love with them. It's fine. You know, you're not married to them. So you can do that with an app. And when it's outdone its usefulness, you know, get rid of it. But I do like the idea, especially for young people or busy people, that, you know, say you've got work, and in your lunch break, you can grab your flute or your violin and grab a quiet place and put on your phone and you're sticking your headphones, and you've got my playbooks, or you can listen to my essays on the train. And the thing with my essays is you learn stuff. And every single essay that I've written with the purpose of learning something that you can apply to your musical training and your musicianship. That's the purpose of it. Do you see? So I'm not sort of doing random entertainment here. I'm thinking, right, what have I learned in the last, you know, I'm 64. So what have I learned in 64 years about music and musicianship? And this week or today and yesterday, I was working with physics and the idea of sort of building up kinetic energy and pushing it out, and where does it go, and gravity. And I've just been working on something where we take our bow and we almost let it fall, but not quite. And we understand by doing that where the gravity is that we have to slightly fight against. The bows are very light, especially my viola bows. Really light. I've got a new viola bow today. It's really, really light. Love it. But it's still going to fall. You still have to protect it. Which fingers protect the bow from falling? Which fingers and which part of your body with the left hand stop your instrument from drooping? Or, I mean, you know, all of these things. But until you sort of explore them and you do a little bit of experimenting, think, oh yeah, I see where that strength is coming from. Oh yeah, I see where I'm building up too much tension. I don't need to be that forceful with it, because actually I'm not going to drop it. It's not going to fall down. I'm here to support it, not to push it against my other parts of my body or whatever. Do you see what I'm saying? And it's really interesting, I think, that, you know, for many, many years, I haven't really thought about that as a musician. I've thought about other things. I've thought about repertoire. I've thought about repeating practice. I've thought about making beautiful notes, and I've sort of omitted, or I instinctively, you know, some of these things, but actually, do you? How much do you actually know instinctively? Because, you know, our bodies lie to us all the time. That's why we get neck pain. That's why we get tired and backache. And I mean, backache is a massive problem, isn't it? So all of these things, you know, we work on at Continuum, and every day there's going to be an essay. The new book at the end of the week, really, really excited about that. So it's a collection of the essays for really people who are just possibly starting out, or who, you know, started a long time ago, but they really can't get back into it for whatever reason, but they kind of want to. I think this is another really interesting thing, actually, with, the onslaught of sort of AI and reels and things like that, and AI taking our jobs. And, you know, I mean, if it's true that in 5 years, none of us will be working, what are we going to do, guys? Well, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to play music, and we're going to create bands, and we're going to create orchestras, and we're going to find this wonderful, amazing thing called music that unites us and, you know, makes friends. You make friends when you go to an orchestra, and when you're in a band, and you interact with, other people, and people are sociable. Well, I mean, I'm not very sociable, I have to say, but I do love I love orchestra. I don't want to go down the pub and get drunk. I don't want to go to parties. I don't want to do anything unless it involves music. I only want to do music. And it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And the thing with orchestra is that you build these really important relationships with other people who are sort of dependent on you, and you dependent on them, because there is no I on orchestra. I've got a T-shirt that says that, by the way. You can get it on my website. But you're part of this sort of symbiotic machine, this pulsing kind of being that is the sum of its parts. It's really interesting, and it builds a lot of trust, actually. So even though I don't hang out with anyone at orchestra and I don't party with them, they're all students at Portsmouth Uni. I still feel a bond with them, and it's really important to me. It's a really big, special, important part of my existence and my life. So yes, Continuum is on Lounges, Patreon, and on my website. I mean, if you go to my website, iServalan.com, you can find me there. I've got a TikTok. I'm all over the place, guys. I've got a YouTube. You can see all the reels and shorts on my YouTube. So Continuum has a YouTube channel. iServalan has one as well, but iServalan I'm using more for less, how should I say, sort of less serious musical reels and shorts, maybe for sort of general knowledge, human interest, shall we say. Whereas Continuum is much, much deeper. It's really, really specialist, I think. And it's really looking into every aspect and every possible tool and every possible desire that an instrumentalist might have, and how we can progress from this amazing canon of work and tutorship and pedagogy that's been already created. What can we do now? Because some of this material was created before digitization. It was created before algorithms and, hundreds of years before. What do we do with that? What do we do with that now? What do we do with it in in 2026 and beyond? In 2050, I want to have made something that will benefit the people of the future, because it's, because I've utilized the materials of the present adequately. Do you see what I mean? So anyway, I better go. I've got to go and do some stuff, and I might do a bit of broadcasting later. Actually, it's too exciting, the things that I've got planned for this week. So I'm not going to tell you, because I'll end up talking for too long. So absolutely masses of new content and play-alongs and lots of tips, lots of essays, new book coming out, blah, blah, blah. It's really, really exciting. Guys, thank you so much for listening.